It's a new year, and we are happy to still have you. This episode is brought to you by you fine patrons over at patreon.com/comic timing. We thank you very much for your continued support of the show. For as little as $1 a month, you get some behind-the-scenes access, occasional articles by Chris Naudis, occasional extra audio and video by me, diary entries, even some random things thrown in there by Raph every now and then, whatever we can throw your way. And we thank you very much for that continued support that you give at patreon.com/comic timing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to give a one-time donation, that's also available at paypal.me/IAM sci-fi. You keep the lights on, and you keep us being very meticulous as to what we're reading. What am I talking about? I guess you're about to find out. Hey there, folks. My name is Ian Levinstein, and welcome to episode 271 of Comic Timing, our first full episode of the new year. And boy, oh boy, do we have something special for you guys in the pipeline for tonight. Joining us first on the to the left of me on the Zoom call, the one, the only, the Mr. Chris Eberle.
L. Levinstein, it's good to be home.
Happy to have you, my friend, and welcome to another year of podcasting with my mug. You're welcome. And, of course, he's another year older. He's just as jovial as always, the one and only Adam Murdo.
How do, gentlemen? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year indeed, Murd. And we are giving the listeners a goddamn treat tonight, as we have not gone this in depth on something in quite some time, and this is essentially, I mean, it's not quite the spotlight treatment, but it's pretty damn close to it, as we are going to go very, very meticulous beginning tonight into the new history of the DC universe. And boy, oh boy, are we starting at the very beginning of that.
Yes, indeed. So far at the beginning that we're not going to get any further than the cover. Guaranteed.
Yes, and if you're wondering, well, that cover really doesn't have much on it. Oh, no. Au contraire. We are not talking about cover A. We are talking about cover D. Pour one out to the D. But of course. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my God.
The Scott Koblish variant with, I haven't counted them yet, but hopefully by the end of this episode, we will have a count for you. All the different Golden Age DC Comics characters that Mr. Koblish could fit onto a gatefold.
Yes, indeed. Yep. And as much history on this cover as there is in the tome itself, most certainly. And we will be getting to those individual issues as we get to them. Whether or not we're going to do this same cover treatment to 2, 3, and 4 depends on how many hours it takes us to do this first cover here. But we'll see what we can fit in there. And if you're wondering where Shane is, Shane will be joining us for future episodes of this series. He's currently packing for a date with Mickey down in Orlando, and was unable to join us. But he does send his regards to listeners and hosts and co-hosts alike. So
we're gonna miss you, brother. I don't like doing a DC history deep dive without you, but hopefully you'll listen back and play along with us.
Absolutely. And those of you who are playing along, you can do that in one of two ways. You can actually, if you have cover D, take it out and look at, where in the placement we are discussing at that very specific moment, or you can head on over to the YouTube, as over at youtube.com/@comic timing podcast. I have a high quality version of the image itself that DC put out, minus cover text. So there's even stuff that may have been theoretically hidden by said cover text that is much more visible here, that I'll be able to zoom in on and assist us with throughout today. So very, very much looking forward to this, and what a damn fine way to start off 2026, if I do say so myself.
Heaping helping of DC history, and man, I've been looking forward to this for months.
Damn Skippy. And I guess the important question is, Murd, which corner do we start off with?
Well, we're going to remain in keeping with most of the English-speaking Western world here and start at the upper left corner.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead and zoom in there. And there we are.
Oh, wow. That is nice and high res and magnified there.
Yes, it is. Yep. The actual resolution is on the bottom of the file here. It's 5,000 by 3668. So it's big enough to put on anybody's monitor as a background image, and you still won't even be able to fit the whole damn thing. So, job well done, DC. Job well done.
We'll take it.
All right.
All right. Now, for folks who would care to play along at home, and that includes you two gentlemen here on the call, if you would like to play along with Murd here as we do this, I have set up for myself a scorecard. Okay. I've put 3 columns on here, A, B, and C. As we go along here, every character that I come to that I knew outright, just at first sight, I could identify said character, I would put a hash mark under column A. For every character that I've at least heard of, but for one reason or another was not able to identify from Mr. Koblish's rendering here on this cover, I give myself a stroke under column B. And for every character that's just completely strange to me, that I never heard of before looking at this cover, I give myself a stroke under column C.
Okay.
Yes. Adding those figures together will hopefully by the end of it tell us how many characters there are in toto on this cover. And also tell all of us how well we really know our DC Golden Age history.
And most importantly, it creates a drinking game for any of the listeners out there. So if you have a beer or whiskey handy, you're going to be drunk by the end of this episode. Anyway.
I like the way you're thinking. And I, as a non-drinker, I wouldn't have thought of that, but it lends itself very well to that application.
Of course, of course. All right. So I guess we begin. Well, do we begin with the guys in the vehicles here?
Yeah, I think we got to begin with the spacecraft up there in the upper left.
Okay.
And there are some listeners, including Pance's friend John Burke, who is a big devotee of Golden Age DC, who are going to be disappointed in me here because I can tell you already there are going to be a lot of strokes under column C for me here because starting off, I could not identify a single one of the flight craft that are in the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah.
But I have I've done some research here. I leaned hard on an annotated version of this that I found online, and that I haven't been able to find since, incidentally, so it's a good thing I got my research done months ago. So I'll be leaning pretty heavily on whoever that annotator was to come up with the But having done back research after that, I've been able to confirm most of this person's leanings about these things. Anyway, so in the upper left there, that space plane up there is a vehicle known as the High-Low. That's HI-LO, and it's the preferred mode of transport of the cast of a strip called 2023 Super Police.
Wow.
It's described as a stratoplane/submarine.
Okay.
And we'll be getting back to 2023 Super Police later on. The characters are a little bit further down on the cover, but that's one in the C column for me. Right below it, the little orange thing with the propeller on the front of it, that is apparently the rocket plane flown by a character called Bob Merritt, who we can see silhouetted in the cockpit there, who is an inventor-aviator who first appeared in New Fun Comics number 5 in 1935, created by Major Malcolm Wheeler Nicholson, an important figure in DC's early history.
Bob Merritt or Darth Vader, depending on who you say is in there, because the silhouette is kind of Vadery to me.
Yeah, I'm on the leader.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're going to find here that Mr. Koblish weighted his character choices pretty heavily on like the first year or so of DC Comics. We're going to see a lot of characters who appeared in the first handful of like New Fun Comics, More Fun Comics, which was DC's first ever ongoing series. And a lot from their second series, New Comics, which became New Adventure, which became Adventure Comics.
Excellent.
So let's see, these first two, for example. Okay, then we have this globe-shaped thing. And the annotator of that image I mentioned was a little uncertain about whether this could have gone one of two ways. This is either the gondola of the high atmosphere space balloon ridden by outer space character Don Drake, who is pictured down below, or it is the time retarder, which is DC's first time machine, if I'm not mistaken, used by a character called Mark Swift, who, in the company of schoolboy Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Mark Swift was the schoolboy. The creator of the Time Retarder was Rodney Kent, who is Mark Swift's school teacher.
Okay.
And the two of them had adventures back in time. It wasn't even a DC concept. This is actually from early Fawcett comics. Starting
So
in,
the young sidekick genre.
Yeah, kind of. The heroic time traveler and his young companion. So they might be the first time-traveling characters in comics, but they did not appear in DC. They appeared in a Fawcett comic back in 1940. So we're going to go with that as the identity of this sphere. It's for the sole reason that Don Drake is pictured elsewhere on this cover.
Mm-hmm. I do appreciate that as part of it being the quote-unquote new history of the DC universe, that you can combine all of the DC properties into a cohesive, or at least as close to cohesive as humanly possible, DC timeline, including Fawcett and companies that weren't necessarily DC back then, but are now. So
right, you're going to see a lot of Fawcett and a lot of quality comics concepts here, and a few from other small publishers here and there as well.
Yep.
Now we have the big red, white, and blue bird thing. That apparently is Mr. America's Falcon ship. I had no idea that Mr. America even had a Falcon ship. I guarantee you it's not a Millennium Falcon either.
No.
But I knew that Mr. America used to fly using his magic cape as a magic carpet, but I had no idea he had a flight craft like this. So, got to give myself a black mark in the C column for that.
To me, it's just a rocket pop, because that's the exact color organization there, and it's a rocket pop with an eagle head. And I'm just going to stick with that.
Murd, refresh your memory. What's the origin of Mr. America?
We'll get to that later on.
Okay, fair enough.
Assuming you're still with us. He's way down towards the bottom center of the cover. But yeah, his first appearance was in Action Comics #1. He was just called Tex Thompson then. He was kind of a generic globe-trotting professional adventurer. But eventually he donned a costume and became a patriotic hero called Mr. America. And after that became another patriotic hero called America Mando. And somewhere along the line, apparently he flew that thing.
Okay.
So, there you go. All right, the next prop plane down there, being flown by the guy with the little bat ears on his aviator cap.
Yep.
That is Rex Darrell, the first DC character to be called Flying Fox. No relation to the one that was a part of Roy Thomas's Young All-Stars years later. But yes, he spent 1 year in the pages of More Fun comics from November of 1938 through January of 1940.
Okay.
And below him, in that convertible flight craft there, it's a weekend cruiser deal happening there, that is the Super Gyro car, GIRO that is, of Mark Marson of the Interplanetary Police 2060 AD. And Mark Marson, in common with a lot of the characters you're going to see on this cover, is definitely not Flash Gordon.
No, of course not.
He had an 18-month run in the pages of More Fun comics from November of 1936 through May of 1938. And he can be concretely identified by the young lady in the cockpit with him there. You'll notice that her skin has kind of a pinkish tint to it. That is his love interest, Gail Hillary, who is the daughter of a scientist, kind of like Flash Gordon's girlfriend, Ms. Harkov. And the reason her skin is pinkish like that, originally she was just like Mark Marson himself was more of a Caucasian skin tone, but close to her first appearance, she was captured by Marson's archenemy, Sarno of the Red Planet. And his scientists converted her into a red person, a member of the red people of the Red Planet, and that's why she looks the way she does.
Now, Merge, looks like she dropped out of the 1980s into the 1930s. Is that a mohawk on her head?
It's more of an alien top knot.
Okay.
I don't think that. Or it might even be like some piece of fancy space flapper headgear. I'm not
Gotcha.
even sure.
Their vehicle also looks like it could easily be out of heavy metal for how phallic it is. I just wanted to point that out.
That is a fine point.
Oh, I love when you get kinky, Levy Poo.
Good old heavy metal.
Since I certainly had never heard of either Mark Marson of the Interplanetary Police 2060 AD or his girlfriend, that's 2 hash marks on it. So far, I'm 0-0-7 here.
Hey, guess what? Me too. Anyway.
I'm
Not
just here
off
to
a
learn.
fantastic start. All right, so I'm going to put it to you guys to provide some direction here as far as which way we go
Okay.
and which characters we identify next.
I think we can go directly to the right of the vehicles here with these two bulleteer-esque people, since they are directly next to it.
Okay.
That's some Fawcett characters, I believe.
That Chris is right on the money. And Ian is also on the money by comparing them to the Bulleteer, because the Bulleteer from Morrison's Seven Soldiers is very directly inspired by this pair of Golden Age Fawcett adventurers. This is Jim Barr, alias Bullet Man, and his partner and eventual wife, Susan Kent Barr, Bullet Girl.
Okay. Very cool.
Both of whom I was about to say that they both first appeared in Whiz Comics, but I'm pretty sure they're actually in Master Comics. In any event, they are Fawcett characters, and I've known them for years. So there's my first two hash marks in the A column for those two.
Okay. And I think I can point out the one directly underneath them. That's the Spectre.
Sure is.
Yay, I won. I got one.
Yep, you put that in your A column, Ian.
Yep.
Yep, larger than life as he should be. And for a lot of these, it's okay. I think we're just going to be saying the name and moving on. I'm not trying to write an encyclopedia article for every single character on here.
No.
We'll be here all night. But for those lesser known characters, I do feel honor bound to provide a little bit of background.
Yep.
But the Spectre's the Spectre. He's murdered police detective Jim Corrigan, who is now like the agent of God's vengeance.
Yep. Fair enough.
And he's an early, as Raph pointed out a while ago, he's an early Jerry Siegel creation.
Yes. Yep. Very cool.
But not with Joe Shuster, though.
No. All right. I guess we'll go to the left of the Spectre here, and this spectacled human being.
Okay. Well, those four, they're standing in a row there to the left of the Spectre. They're kind of a package deal. So I mentioned earlier that the very first thing in the upper left was the Hilo, which was the vehicle of the 2023 Super Police. Well, this is the cast of that strip, 2023 Super Police. Yes, which... they first appeared in New Fun Comics #1 and ran there through More Fun #14. And New Fun #1 is considered the very first DC comic, which carried a cover date of February 1935. That's the point to which DC dates its history. And these guys were there from pretty much the beginning. So from left to right, the guy in the smart-looking cap is heroic cab driver Axel Yoke. The lady is Joan Shanley. Standing heroically in the center with arms akimbo is the star of the feature, Rex Cosmos, who, once again, definitely not Flash Gordon.
No, of course.
And to the other side of him is Professor Shanley, Joan's father.
Okay.
Let's point out that in 1935, 2023 seemed a long, far time away.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. And guess what? We caught up to it.
And then some. And we don't all have our own high-low parked in our garages and driveways either.
No, we do not. No. So who's this red hooded individual underneath them?
All right. Well, I know who it is. If I have additional information about him, Oh, here we go. Yeah, we're not going in the same order I have my notes here, so I'm going to catch it occasionally. But anyway, that is a Golden Age quality hero called the Invisible Hood, a.k.a. Kent Thurston. And he was a member of Uncle Sam's first wave of freedom fighters, as shown in Roy Thomas's All-Star Squadron back in the 80s. He appeared in a strip that was called Invisible Justice, but the character himself was called the Invisible Hood. And he didn't even actually gain the ability to become invisible until the second issue of his feature. But he first appeared in Smash Comics #1 and hung around for the first 32 issues of that series.
Okay.
And, I have to put him in the B column because although I know full well who the Invisible Hood is, I didn't know that his costume was red. I expected it to be white.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So, faked myself out there.
All right.
Okay, this is one reason why the B column exists, because no matter how accurate Scott Koblish is in his depiction of these characters, a lot of them could be described as man in suit and hat number 16.
Exactly.
Or like guy in turban number 5. A lot of them just... They were generic from the time they were created, and it's hard to pick them out of a lineup. So here is a guy in a suit and a hat, and I need to remind myself which guy in suit and hat it is. I think it's the star of Siegel and Schuster's Federal Men strip.
Okay.
He looks like a G-Man.
Yeah, he does at that.
I'll assume the guy in red in same suit is probably in same strip, unless it just happens to be another guy in suit directly next to him.
Another guy in suit. Absolutely no relation.
Wow. Okay.
Gosh darn it, why can't I... What order did I go in when I wrote this stuff down?
If it helps you in any way for me to go a very specific order, Bird, just let me know, and I'll gladly pivot.
I am very sorry, guys. I did not...
That's okay, Murd. I'm just marveling at the next Flash Gordon imitator below them. in the fishbowl helmet.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
That one actually has his own entry in Who's Who in the DC Universe.
Oh.
Okay. Guy in suit red and guy in suit blue. The progenitor of Superman red and Superman blue, clearly.
All right, I found it.
Hey!
This is my note. Behind the Mountie. Okay. And I was right. He is Steve Carson of the FBI, who was the star of the early Siegel and Schuster strip Federal Men, which ran for a long time in New Comics, which eventually became Adventure Comics, number 2 through number 70.
Okay.
Yes.
We have to remember that, in the 1930s, the FBI, especially through J. Edgar Hoover's press campaign, was really valorized as like the pinnacle of law enforcement in the United States.
Ooh, yes, they were hero figures.
Yep,
in fact,
absolutely.
Kids could join the Junior Federal Men Club. Send away their box tops to national periodical publications.
I hope they gave you X-ray specs. It's like, why are you even sending in box tops if you can't get X-ray specs?
It's no reason I can think of.
Exactly.
All right, now we can go back to guy in red suit. Okay, and this... All right, I got to give myself a B here for Federal Men, and also a B for this one because I didn't recognize him, but I certainly know this character. He first appeared in Detective Comics number 1, and he is Cosmo, Phantom of Disguise.
Ooh.
Who is a British adventurer who's good at disguises.
Okay. All right. Kind of a Human Target-esque character, as it were.
Something like that, yeah, but he's got that Golden Age panache happening for him.
Nice. And directly next to him is Popeye the Sailor Man with a monkey. No.
No, he's much more Irish than that. He's Lance O'Casey.
Outstanding.
He's really more of a Milton Caniff, Terry and the Pirates imitator. There's a bunch of those on this cover, too. But he is Irish. His ship is called the Brian Boru, after a legendary king of Ireland. And he has South Seas adventures with his monkey, Mr. Hogan. And I give you that for free, off the top of my head. You will not find that on any of the annotations I've seen.
That's the A column, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, that is 100% the A column. And 2, because the monkey counts.
The monkey always counts.
Hell yes. I'm glad we're working from the same playbook here.
Yep. Damn right. All right. Now, directly underneath him.
That's Zatanna's father, isn't it?
That's where I was going to go.
He'd have a
it's
top
not.
hat. He's a little bit later on.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a guy... I mean, his illustration here, right down to the coloring, looks exactly like his entry in Who's Who. So, and I have a certain fondness for this character, so I'm a little disappointed in myself for not recognizing him. But the fact that he's all the way over here, when I was kind of hoping that this would be going more or less in something like chronological order from left to right, getting closer to the Silver Age the further to the right we go. But no such luck, because this is a 1950s character who's all the way over here, surrounded by people from like the 40s and 50s. Oh, Lance O'Casey, by the way, first appeared in Whiz Comics number 2. He shares a first appearance with Captain Marvel. He is a Fawcett character. But the guy in the cape, who looks kind of like Zatara, as Chris pointed out, this is a very different and much later stage magician, or magical superhero disguised as a stage magician. This is Rick Carter, alias Misto Magician Detective. And he did not make his first appearance until Detective Comics number 203, which is January of 1954. Which, any way you slice it, is a little after the Golden Age.
Yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Well, you could technically, I guess, call it the Atom Age, but...
Yep, you could. Yeah. You could call him an Atomic Age magician adventurer. And he made only like 8 appearances. In the 50s anyway. He popped up a couple of times after that. And like many another superhero magician, he learned at the feet of an aged Indian person who died right after teaching him everything he knew.
Of course he did.
Yes. As was the tradition at the time.
It's
I can't wait to get over. Speaking of stereotypes, till we get to Chop Chop over with the Blackhawks later on.
oh yes.
Oh boy. Yep. So
All
so
right.
who's the Mountie?
Who's the Mountie? Oh yeah, he's here someplace. I believe he's known as McGinnis of the Mounties.
Okay.
Oh, yep, here it found him. Yep, McGinnis of the Mounties, Dan McGinnis, to be precise, who made his first appearance in New Comics number 4 in April of 1936, and he made 9 whole appearances. And he is a Mountie. And I'd never heard of him before, so in the C column.
There you go. Oh my God.
God, Murtmer, this cover was tailor-made for your passions. Holy mackerel.
Absolutely.
It's been a lot of fun compiling these.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I just hope it stays fun for the whole run here for fall.
Oh yeah. Well, it's definitely going to be fun to find out who the hell Fishbulb is here, because
Well, he goes in the A column for me because he does have a Who's Who entry, as I mentioned earlier, under U for Ultraman.
Ooh.
Not to be confused with the evil Earth 3 Superman. This is Ultra-Man, and his real name is Gary Concord. And I know I've got and I wrote something down about it. Here we go. Gary Concord, the Ultraman, who is, I describe him as a 23rd century Buck Rogers ripoff. He's a bit more of a Buck Rogers ripoff than he is a Flash Gordon ripoff. But there's always some crossover between ripofferys. Yep, he made his first appearance in All-American Comics number 8 in 1939.
Speaking of Buck Rogers, rest in peace, Gil Gerard.
yes, indeed. Yep.
Oh my, yes, that's right. It was just a couple of weeks ago as of this recording, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Not too long ago. Yeah. All right. So for your sake, Mert, does it make more sense for us to go in a specific direction from here, or should we continue downward as we've been heading?
Honestly, the way I went was horizontally.
Okay.
Kind of doing like horizontal strips of the cover, like the top 25%, and then the second topmost 25%.
Not a problem at all. I'm happy to pivot, especially because there's some people here that I recognize. So that's definitely more my bag. Yep. I know who the Ray is. So that's a given.
Yep, that's a couple of freedom fighters here, not Uncle Sam's retconned original freedom fighters from All-Star Squadron, but the true original freedom fighters who appeared in Justice League of America in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So we have these two guys, the Ray, as you pointed out, and the other one is the original Black Condor, both quality comics characters, and they're both certainly column A material.
Yes. And directly next, underneath them would be the Blackhawks, correct?
Yep, yeah, that's the best-known members of that crew, who are also quality comics characters on the subject. Now, from left to right here, giving myself a mark in column A for each one as I go, the fellow with the mustache is André, representing France. Next to him is the titular hero of the group, the eponymous leader, Black Hawk himself, sometimes known as Bart Hawk. Much later, he was given the name Janos Prochaska and was identified as being of Polish descent. Next to him is Olaf from Sweden.
Yeah.
Next to him is the American Chuck Wilson, who later, under the pen of Howard Chaykin, was renamed Carlo Siriani. He was an Italian-American. That fellow is Stanislaus, representing Poland. And if you can scroll just a little bit further, there we go. The other two members of the group here. There's Zinda Blake, Lady Blackhawk, and Hendrickson, the Flying Dutchman of the group.
Very cool.
And there in the foreground, drawn to look a little bit more like a human being than he was in most of his Golden Age appearances, sorry to say, is the Chinese member of the group. He was their cook, their mechanic, their all-around mascot. He was more often than not portrayed as an offensive stereotype. He was called Chop Chop. Eventually, it was revealed his real name was Wang Chan, which sounds a lot more like a name an actual Chinese person would have.
Yes, significantly so. All right. Who are these fellows directly next to them on the left there?
Okay, the three guys with the aviator caps. Let's do them, because they're the Blackhawks' fellow aviators after all.
There you go.
Okay, let's see if I can hunt them down here. This is a group of characters. I have to put them in. I'm going to give them B's, all three of them, because I've heard of them. They're called the Three Aces. Their names are Fog Fortune. He's the jowly fellow with the mustache. The tall guy in the middle is Gunner Bill, and the one on the right, the other one, is Whistler Will. So Fog Fortune, Gunner Bill, and Whistler Will, the three aces.
Did Stan Lee come up with these names?
He did not. We can safely say that he did not.
They're alliterations, though, so I was wondering.
They were actually created, I have a note here, they were created by Bert Christman, who is, I don't know if he's a relation to the Christman that we know best, but he was active at DC in the first part of the 40s. He co-created the Wesley Dodds Sandman, actually.
Oh, wow.
And he was one of the comic book creators who went off to war and never came home.
Ah, man.
So the three aces are one of his legacies. They were they're pilots and veterans of World War I who kind of forswore warfare and bummed around Europe and Northern Africa as adventurers and fortune hunters. Although eventually, when World War II happened, the characters were dragged back into war in the pages of the lone feature.
Yeah.
Let's see. They spent 4 years in Action Comics, 1939 to 1943.
Very good. And the guy in the hat directly next to them here?
Now, this is an interesting figure. And he also leads me to kind of scratch my head a bit about the rubric implied by Scott Koblish as to whom to include on this cover and whom not to, and in what ways. Because this character, apparently, and I'm just going to give myself a C on this one. His name is Wild Bill Dunn.
Okay.
And he's not well known to me because he, as a character, is much less well known than the vehicle he piloted in a feature that starred said vehicle in Quality Comics. He was the engineer, inventor, architect, and pilot of a vehicle called the Blue Tracer, which is the sine qua non of World War II fantasy military vehicles. It was like a plane, a jet, and a submarine all in one. And the feature was not called Wild Bill Dunn. It was called The Blue Tracer. So you got to wonder why we're treated to this image of a guy with a bandana and a pith helmet instead of this really cool super vehicle that he built.
Yeah. Maybe he ran out of room.
I don't know.
The only thing I can guess, considering how many other cool vehicles we have on here, that would have been a great thing to add in there as one of the other vehicles. Yep.
Yeah, and I've seen pictures. It's actually fairly cool looking as Golden Age super vehicles go. But anyway, Bill Dunn, his co-pilot Aloysius Boomerang Jones, an Australian soldier, and the Blue Tracer all first appeared in Military Comics #1. They share that as a first appearance with Black Hawk, which was published in August of 1941. And the two of them met on the remains of an Ethiopian battlefield, and they cobbled this super vehicle together from salvaged parts of Nazi war vehicles. It's kind of an interesting backstory.
Yeah.
And they rode this Blue Tracer through its own feature for years after that.
Very cool. And news cap wearing dude directly next to them on the side here. I want to make sure we don't forget about him.
I'm sorry, quick question. The Blue Tracer, what year did that first appear?
1941.
Interesting, because Ethiopia, because Italy invades Ethiopia in the 1930s. I'm just wondering if it appeared back then, but okay.
Nope, so a little bit after that. So, and enough time had passed for all the junk of those battles to be available for salvage, I guess.
Yeah, the Italian army never had stuff as good as the Germans, though. But anyway, I'm just being historical.
That's why they went for the German parts, I guess. And also to make a statement, bits of the Nazi war machine repurposed for peace and justice for the Allied cause.
To steal a phrase that you often use, Chris, we're happy you're here.
Absolutely.
Feelings mutual, gentlemen.
Yep.
Okay, so newsboy cap guy. That is Merchant Marine Tom Brent, merchant sailor of the South Seas, another Milton Caniff Terry and the Pirates riff. And he dates all the way back to 1938. Yeah, he spent a year in New Comics / New Adventure. And I certainly never heard of him. So
neither did I.
It's interesting, Murray. We've noted already 2 Milton Caniff ripoffs. It just shows the impact of Terry and the Pirates and how important it is in the history of the medium.
Well, I think what we're going to find ultimately is that in the Golden Age, everybody was borrowing from everybody else.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Does it make more sense to go to these to go to these raccoon squirrel things here, or to go further along?
And it always makes sense to go to the raccoon squirrel things.
My God, these things look like mascots for cereal. I love it.
Well, given enough time, they might have been eventually. But yeah, these are the Raccoon Kids. I think I'm going to give them a B. I know I've heard of the Raccoon Kids before. Their names are Rollo and Rudy, if you're really keeping score here. They are twins. They were created by cartoonist Otto Feuer. They appeared in Animal Antics #1 in 1946, and they ran in that title for 51 issues, and with issue 52, they took it over, and it became the Raccoon Kids comic. Now, that happened to a lot of DC's early funny animal anthologies. Their best-selling characters just kind of took over as the title characters after a while. And the Raccoon Kids ran from issues 52 through 64, ending in 1957. So there you go. Funny animals they were a significant money-making genre for DC and their other Golden Age publishers. And I think they're pretty well represented on this cover in Mr. Koblish's choices.
Very good. All right, I don't want to go too far down, so we'll start going across here.
Up.
Yep.
Boy Commandos.
Yes, indeed.
Chris is correct. Yes, we've got pretty much the entire international squad of the Boy Commandos here. Okay, starting with the bespectacled youth down here. It's kind of significant that he's in front of the heavy-set lad behind him because the guy with glasses was introduced to replace the guy behind him. Mm-hmm. The guy with glasses is boy genius Percy Clearweather, who's also a little rich kid who's an amateur detective. The guy behind him is British youth Alfie Twidget. To the right there with the bandana is a token American named Tex. I think that's the only name that was ever given for him. The blonde with the page boy cut there is Jan Hassan, who is from the Netherlands. And then there is Andre, not to be confused with Andre of the Blackhawks, although in an issue of Mark Waid and George Perez's Brave and the Bold, the two Andres did actually meet and converse with one another in French.
Nice.
Because they are both French. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we can't forget in the Doivy hat in the foreground there, that is the kid called Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Who eventually grew up to be Detective Dan Turpin of the Metropolis Police Force.
Yep, gotta love it.
We should remember that Boy Commandos, of course, is a Simon and Kirby
one of those
creation.
Gangs.
And modern listeners may find it odd that children were being dispatched to fight the Nazis. But we have to remember that when this comic was produced, I'm sure Simon and Kirby wanted to show that they were resistant to the Third Reich any way they could through their work. And B, and Murray can attest to this, a lot of the readers were kids, and they were always putting in sidekicks, and so in this story they flipped it on its head and made the kids themselves the star of the book. I think that the officer in the peaked hat was their mentor, correct, or like their guardian?
That's right,
right,
Captain Rip Carter.
Right.
Yep. And Dan Turpin, I'll also point out, significant member of the cast of Superman the Animated Series.
That's right.
And some of the best episodes happened with him, and the very, very important episodes of that series happened with him involved. So,
is he drawn like Kirby in the animated series?
He is, yes.
Right.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
and it's appropriate because it's as much a plug-in.
He's a Kirby analog. Yep.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
Kirby fiction suit.
Mm-hmm. And a man who looks significantly less like Kirby is the ghoul with the smile directly underneath him.
Yeah, this one definitely goes right into column C, and you know why? Because this is a character that made one appearance.
Wow.
There's a few like this in here, which are kind of head scratchers to me. I have to assume that Mr. Koblish included them just because he happens to have read the one Golden Age comic in which they appeared and liked the design and felt like throwing them in there. Mm-hmm. But this is a guy named Mr. Skeleton. He is a Fawcett character, and we might as well jump straight to the guy right in front of him, who is Jack Weston, the Minuteman, the one-man army, who is Fawcett's kind of token patriotic hero, or one of them. I think there was the Fighting Yank was theirs as well. But anyway, this is one of the Fawcett characters that's made DC Universe appearances later on. And he's not exactly a Captain America. I don't think there's a super soldier serum in his background, but he was kind of a peak human athlete, and he worked directly under a high-ranking American general, and he went out to fight the Nazis hand-to-hand wearing that puffy-sleeved American flag shirt of his.
Mm-hmm. All right. Directly next to him, man in top mask and man in bottom mask.
Looks like a sidekick to me.
I wish you hadn't mentioned top and bottom.
Unintentional, but we'll move on.
Levy Poo, you're real. I really enjoyed the kink side of you in this episode. It's 2 now.
Oh
It's
my
more of a
God.
father and son situation.
All right. Fine. I take it back. Accidental. We're moving on. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So this is kind of like the Batman and Robin of Earth S here. These are falsehood characters again. This is District Attorney Brian Butler, alias Mr. Scarlet, and his sidekick is his son, Pinky the Whiz Kid.
Okay.
Pinky the Whiz Kid. God, I love the Golden Age.
There's something about that style of mask to give a kid sidekick, where like it's the mask, but the hair is still visible. That just became like a token of sidekicks for
So
many,
much more
many
important
years.
for the kid's hair to be visible for whatever reason.
I know, yeah, so strange, but oh well. Directly underneath them, with the what I will affectionately call the blondie eyes, which is the case with a bunch of the different characters on here from that specific era. But who's that man?
Well, I'll tell you in a second. His name is blasted Woozy something or other. Not Woozy Winks. This is completely different. But once again, we're not moving along quite the same lines.
If I went too far down, my bad. I'll start going further across.
I found him in front of Mr. Scarlet, Woozy Watts.
Okay.
All right. Not Woozy Winks, Woozy Watts, who is he's as the cartooning style implies, he's really more of a humor comic strip kind of character. Mm-hmm. Like Johnny Thunder, he was kind of like an average Joe bumbler, dabbler, drifter kind of guy who couldn't hold a job for very long until finally he drifted down to the exotic locale of the Ghoulie Islands. And there he spent the rest of his time in comics, which was exactly 2 years, actually. From March of 1936 to February of 1938, he had silly adventures in the Ghoulie Islands.
Okay, not bad at all. And is the guy in the hat directly next to him associated with him, or is he someone else?
He is someone else. Yeah, sometimes Mr. Koblish puts associated characters together in groups. Other times they've lost each other in the crowd, it seems. It's hard to keep track of. Anyway, yeah, this is definitely unrelated. This is a character who was the title character of a strip called The Strange Adventures of Mr. Weed. And his name is Mr. Oliver Weed, and he is another early time traveler to appear in comics, although not as early as Fawcett's Mark Swift. He is an uptight historian who is hired on by a kind of a Thomas Edison figure, an egotistical inventor named Uriah Moucher, who's invented a time machine. He wants to bring a historian along to help him chronicle his adventures back in the past, and so the two of them, plus a random street urchin named Fritz, get into Dr. Moucher's time machine and travel back in time 100 years, which at that time was New York, 1835. And they have adventures there for exactly 4 issues, the first 4 issues of New Comics back in 1935. This is a strip by cartoonist Shelley Meyer, and it wasn't one of his best because it lasted 4 issues. But anyway, that's who that is. That's Mr. Oliver Weed.
Got it. All right. And before I start going further across this way, I'm just gonna touch on the most visible of the ladies here, with her pistol in hand and and the red cape.
Large and in the foreground. Either of you guys recognize her?
I do not, actually.
I do not. No.
Well, go back and read your Stars and Stripe, because she's an important figure in the Star-Spangled Kid legacy.
Okay.
This is Mary Creamer Pemberton, also known as, that's Merry, as in Merry Christmas. Mary Girl of 1,000 Gimmicks, or the Gimmick Girl, as she was also known. She was kind of a self-assigned partner to the partnership of the Star-Spangled Kid and Stripesy. Yep, she's the adopted sister of Sylvester Pemberton, the Star-Spangled Kid, and when she learned about his secret identity, she fashioned her own costume, gathered together a bunch of random junk, and went out in the street to help Stripesy and the Kid fight crime, whether they wanted her to or not.
Very cool. Okay. Excellent. All right, I won't go too further down, but I really need to know who this Monopoly mustache guy is directly next to her.
Oh, he's definitely a column C kind of guy. I was not able to dig up very much about him. His name is Super Sleuth McFooey.
Of course it is.
He's a humor character. He's kind of like Sam Spade meets Foghorn Leghorn. And he's a blowhard, egotistical, like private eye who helps out the local police, usually very much against their will.
Okay. And Man in Crown directly next to him?
All right. I'm going to need to find some specific details about him because he's kind of an interesting figure, as I recall. Where is he? Sitting on top of Bozo there.
Yep. Right next to the animate raccoons.
And a really gleeful-looking robot.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a happy guy, that robot.
Looks like he's on cocaine.
Last it. Why can I not follow the path of my own notes? I can't.
Meredith, these notes in your normal, minute hieroglyphic writing, or? Oh, wow.
And that goes on for 3.5 solid pages.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Love it. Absolutely.
I'm glad that you're happy, Chris. And I'd be happier if I could be a little more prompt in providing the information that I've so painstakingly amassed here.
Is that a white legal pad rather than a yellow one, Mert?
It is a white one, yes.
Okay.
The yellow ones are getting a little bit harder to find.
I gotcha.
Found him.
Yay.
Okay. You mentioned the animate raccoon. You said my note here is actually in front of my little direction finder, is in front of the raccoon kids, Archie O'Toole.
Okay.
And this guy was actually one of a number of creators created by Will Eisner as part of the Eisner and Jerry Iger shop as of content production for hire for the Quality Comics company. Yeah, so he cranked this feature out. Archie O'Toole. You remember that early episode of Futurama where Fry went to the planet Trisol and accidentally drank the king and became the new king of the planet?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Archie O'Toole is precisely that. It's kind of weird. He was a struggling itinerant artist. You'd assume that Eisner put a little bit of himself into that character for that. And he found his way to the island nation of Pyromania, where he was commissioned to draw a portrait of the crazed dictator of that island, Gil O'Teen. And he accidentally pushed King O'Teen out of a window. And apparently, according to the Constitution of Pyromania, accidentally defenestrating the king makes you the new king.
Of course it does.
So Archie O'Toole got to be king, and that's why he has a crown on his head in that unusual manner.
A little bit of historical context. So Murd used the term shop. In case some people are unaware, in the early days of American comics, the Golden Age, a lot of the new publishers didn't have in-house talent yet, so they would hire out these shops who would produce, essentially whole books to sell to these publishers. So Eisner was part of one of those early shops, as was Kirby for that matter.
Absolutely, yes. Freelance content production. It was on that basis that Jack Kirby made his minor contribution to the original Captain Marvel.
That's right.
And Eisner, better known for somewhat more literate fare than Archie O'Toole, nonetheless produced Archie O'Toole and lots of other stuff like it. And a lot of it went to the Quality Company.
Okay.
He had a kind of a surprisingly long run, actually, did Archie O'Toole, in Feature Funnies and Smash Comics, both of them Quality publications. And he first appeared in July of 1938.
Very good. All right. Do you have the robot directly next to you in the notes, or should I keep going? Keep rolling.
Ian, the robot is one of those things that I knew cold.
Nice.
Yes. I recognized him and the grim-looking fellow standing directly in front of him, his human friend. This is Hugh Hazard, with 2 Z's, the human is, that is, and his cheerful robot companion there is Bozo the Iron Man. The original Iron Man in comics.
So before Bozo the Clown, I assume.
Yes. Probably, more than likely. Yeah.
I can't be 100% sure of that. I can tell you that Bozo made his first appearance in August of 1939 in Smash Comics number 1 from the Quality Group.
Bozo the Clown didn't actually appear on television until 1949. So
okay,
there you go.
All right, excellent. Thank you for that assist, Ian. So this is a much earlier Bozo than that. So yeah, Hugh Hazard was, a heroic private eye kind of figure, and he ran afoul of Bozo when his creator, the evil Dr. Von Thorpe, was trying to use him to commit crimes. Hazard managed to wrest control of Bozo away from Dr. Von Thorpe, and Bozo kind of imprinted on him. And Hazard was then able to repurpose Bozo as a weapon against crime, even though Dr. Von Thorpe reappeared a couple of times in the history of the strip trying to regain control of his invention.
And Bozo seems just elated to have this new purpose in life.
Yes, he's one of the good ones now.
He looks like trying not to kill people, doing my best, having a good time.
Hey, baby, want to kill all humans?
Kill all. I was having the most wonderful dream. I think you were in it.
Maybe it's no accident that the guy who resembles Fry is leaning on his shoulder there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
All right.
anyway, Hugh Hazard and Bozo ran for 4 years.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Okay. We won't get too far down. I will start moving forward more to the right here and up. But real quick, this girl reporter, her name is Lois Lane. We know who that is.
Yep, that's basically a free space on your bingo cards here, folks. That right in column A, everybody.
Yep.
Oh,
And
we got a turban. We got a turban.
We got a turban, all right. And I think I even know who owns that turban.
Okay.
Yes, here we go. Turbaned. Nadir, Master of Magic. Yes, that's Nadir. So he's he is a one of those magic users, but he's actually an Indian prince, according to his backstory, with a Batman-style origin. His parents were murdered back in his home country, and I guess he came over here to try to solve the case. And not getting very far with it, he just kind of set up shop as a freelance crime fighter. He had a magic ring, which allowed him to do magic things, and he had a servant named Arcot, and he appeared in New Adventure Comics in 1937 and 1938.
Okay. Somehow I don't think that's his sidekick directly underneath him,
Nope.
and I don't think that's Howard the Duck either.
No, it's not. But I'll tell you what, it is one of DC's very first funny animal characters. His name is Dickie Duck. He was created by cartoonist Matt Curzon, and he first appeared in New Comics #1 all the way back in late 1935.
Very good. All right. Getting ourselves further over to the right here, directly next to said duck.
And that duck has been said.
Yep, another man in hat. And
But he's got those nifty fur epaulettes going on there. So
It's almost like a bit of a chauffeur outfit he's got on there.
easy to
Yeah.
pick out. He's no chauffeur, Chris, unless he's chauffeuring a subterrane. This is Mark Lansing of Mickeyshaum, which is kind of the Edgar Rice Burroughs pastiche, who had adventures in the subterranean kingdom of Mickeyshaum, created by cartoonist Howard Purcell. Ran in Adventure Comics from August of 1940 to May of 1941.
very good. And the man next to him forgot his shirt.
He don't need no shirt. Okay, this guy is he's one of a couple of Tarzan wannabes here, but he's really more of a Mowgli wannabe. He's like 3 parts Mowgli from Rudyard Kipling's A Jungle Book, and maybe 1 part Tarzan for good measure. His name is Sandor, and he hung out with talking animals, and he opposed the despotic Raja Maharaja. That was his archenemy. So he appeared in New Comics / New Adventure Comics for exactly 2 years, June of 36 through June of 38.
Very good. Now, is that Aquaman next to him, or is that just an Aquaman-looking fellow?
Or
That's
another
just-
Flash Gordon ripoff.
That's just a blonde dude. And,
Okay.
honestly, other than his physical appearance, he really doesn't have that much in common with either of the characters you guys just mentioned. He's Captain Triumph.
Okay.
He is a quality comics character. You may remember in James Robinson's The Golden Age. He was a fairly major figure there.
Oh, that's right. Well done, Murd. Well done. That's
He was
right.
identical twins, Lance and Michael Gallant. Michael died, and his ghost
Right.
kind of hung around Earth. And every time Lance rubbed a T-shaped birthmark on his wrist, the ghost of Michael was able to merge with his body, and suddenly they gained superhuman powers. They were like twice as strong and fast and charming and whatever as a single human being. So anyway, that's quality comics character Captain Triumph.
And you know what? He keeps staring at me. I'm just gonna say that's Dr. Fate in the center of the screen right now. He just won't look away. So yes, that's Dr. Fate. Okay.
Yep, it is Dr. Fate. Enough said.
Yep.
Is that another South Seas adventurer behind him?
You know, I'll just bet he is. Yep, actually, the note I have here is Sailor. Steve Conrad, Adventurer, who actually had 2 different runs in New Comics or Adventure Comics. The first from 1936 to 38, during which time he piloted the souped-up Cyanogen Cruiser around the South Seas. And his second run in 1940 to 42, that was apparently too high concept. He was just on more average boats after that.
Okay.
But yeah, his name is Steve Conrad, and he is an adventurer.
Okay. And fancy suit wearing man with red tie directly next to him.
Yeah, we're moving in pretty much a linear direction here. Okay, this is Steve. I really would have picked this out of a hat. Steve Malone, DA.
Of course. Who could possibly forget Steve Malone, DA?
Gotta put him down in the C column. I might have heard of him before this, but I'm not gonna give myself credit for it. He was created by Gardner Fox, who created a lot of the more interesting characters on this cover, and he ran in Detective Comics from 1938 to 1942.
Yeah. To me, he was created by Dick Wolf, and he appeared on Law & Order Special Victims Unit, Season 3, Episode 14.
Chung chung.
I also feel very bad for the guy who has half of his head cut off by Batman here. Like that's that's how much love he's getting on this cover. Like,
don't feel too bad for him, Ian, because he made only 1 Golden Age appearance, and he's lucky to be here at all. This is, I think he's a Bullet Man villain. His name is Dr. Mood. U.S. intelligence officer turned Nazi traitor. You can't tell from this image because his face is behind Batman's cape, but he wears a monocle.
Okay.
And he appeared once. So, yeah,
Wow.
I put him in the C column, and I do not feel at all guilty about it.
Fair enough. And before I pass it up, I'm assuming that's Catwoman in her original costume, correct? Or is that another cat person?
The tiger striped one up there.
Yeah.
That is actually not Catwoman.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Potentially Catwoman does appear on this cover twice. There's a little controversy about that, but that is definitely not Catwoman. That is a villainess known as the Huntress.
Okay.
Yes, the original DC Huntress, who also used the name Tigress at times. She was an enemy of the Golden Age Wildcat. She eventually married the Sportsmaster, another Wildcat.
The Sportsmaster.
Right, and they had a kid named Artemis who became Tigress and appeared in JSA Comics in the 21st century.
Okay.
But yes, and her name was Paula Brooks.
All right. I don't think we touched on either Native American woman or Overbite over here, so I just want to make sure that we don't forget either one.
It looks like a demonic possessed Friar Tuck.
Well,
Kinda
you're not too far off there, Chris, because he literally is. He's not only demon possessed; he's possessed by 6 demons at once.
Ooh, wow.
Yes, this is a classic Marvel family opponent, Captain Marvel Jr. to be precise. His real name is Tim Carnes, but he's one of those guys whose name is a magic acronym that he can't say for fear of turning back into nerdy little Tim Carnes again. But his nom de guerre is Sabak, and that is an acronym for the names of the 6 demons who gave him lots of evil powers to allow him to fight Captain Marvel Jr. and help the Nazis, which is what all evil Friar Tucks did back in the 40s.
Okay, I'm definitely familiar with a version of Sabek, and I know we brought him up, back in the day on the spotlights and all that.
Oh
jazz.
yeah. Judd Winnick introduced a version of him that was a Russian mobster.
That's what it is.
Outsiders run.
Yep, absolutely, because I love that Outsiders run, and I enjoyed that a great deal. So yep.
And you know what? That Sabak is a lot scarier than this one.
Yep. And Native American looking, or at least kind of Native American looking girl behind him.
Would you believe Hippolyta?
What?
Really?
Yeah. I kind of expected Earth 2 Hippolyta to be blonde, but apparently that was like Silver Age, was when she acquired the blonde dye job.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked it up, and that is, right down to the headdress and necklace, that is what Golden Age Hippolyta, as drawn by Harry G. Peter, tended to look like.
Okay. All right.
Solid column B. We all know who Hippolyta is, but we couldn't identify her in her Golden Age incarnation.
No, fair enough. Okay. All right. I know who both Batman and Robin are, so we don't need to worry about that.
Let's go ahead and put him in column A. What do you say?
Yeah. But who's Dick Tracy directly underneath Batman here?
I'm on my way. No, you're not. He does look exactly like Dick Tracy, and it's unnerving, I know. But the fellow with the Warren Beatty fashion sense is actually a classic DC Comics journalist character. That is Scoop Scanlon, ace reporter, who first appeared in the first year's worth of Action Comics.
Okay.
And I have read Action Comics #1. I have definitely read Scoop Scanlon's first appearance, but I wasn't going to identify him from, the yellow suit and fedora. So column B, he goes.
Mm-hmm. Neither was I. All right, let's see if I'm forgetting anybody up here. Ah, yes, of course. How could we possibly skip the Thunderbolt? And that is definitely somebody that I recognize in column A.
Say you, Ratto. That gives yourself 2, because of course you recognize his Thunderbolt.
Yes, indeed. Yep.
The Bodinesian Thunderbolt. Mm-hmm. And Johnny was, he was a member of the JSA technically, but before that he was kind of a humor character. Like a couple of the other guys we've mentioned, he was just kind of a drip along, a dabbler who just bumbled through different adventures and happened to have a magic genie that made his adventures spicier and funnier. Mm-hmm. And eventually he did join the JSA and went legit and fought some crime.
I definitely do not recognize the man next to him, though. Although I do like his outfit, the nice combo of blue and red there. I have no idea who that is.
Man. And Scott Koblish really indulged in his skull cap there, didn't he? Or his bandana, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Cancer cap, or whatever it is. But it's swelled up to the size of a cape. But you know what? Neon the Unknown can do that if he wants, because Neon the Unknown was one of those crazy, overpowered Golden Age characters who could do whatever the heck he wanted if a writer wanted him to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he's another one of those of Uncle Sam's retconned first wave of freedom fighters. He was a Quality Comics character. See if I can find where he is here. Here we go. Yep, his real name, and if Shane were here, he'd get a kick out of this, Tom Corbett. Which was the name of a Pennsylvania regional politician a couple of years ago. Although that Corbett spelled it with 2 T's, the Neon spelled it with only 1. He was a French Foreign Legionnaire who was the only survivor of his unit when they were ambushed by Nazis. He found his way to a desert oasis and drank some shiny water and gained the powers of Neon the Unknown, which were, again, whatever the writer wanted them to be. They mostly involved emitting neonic rays from his hand, but since neonic rays were basically magic, he could do whatever. He could do anything. And he first appeared in Hit Comics #1 in 1940, and he was supplied by the Eisner and Iger shop and artist Alex Bloom.
I've had Neon on my mind for a little while now because Chris Naudis and I went to visit the Sign Museum in Brooklyn. That has a whole bunch of old neon signs and a bunch of other things. They're trying to make it an actual museum. It's actually inside of a sign warehouse right now. They have the old neon sign to my family's favorite Italian restaurant to go to for all of our special occasions because it was right down the block from my grandfather's place, Queen Italian Restaurant. And they have whenever they turn it on, that hum of the neon is there. And that's how I learned essentially that neon really never dies. And anything you've heard about it taking up more energy than an LED sign is actually kind of bullshit. They both take about the same amount of power to run. It's just there's fewer and fewer people, neon workers and neon craftsmen in the world that it's just easier to go with LED. And that's why more sign shops have decided to go with that rather than neon. Because basically whenever a neon worker stops working in neon, it's going to be hard to find that exact color anymore. Exactly. Yep. So, yeah. A little behind the scenes on neon right there for you folks. That's why you listen to this podcast, baby.
Just in case there are any Silver Age Batman villains listening, do not reveal the location of that sign warehouse because that would be a perfect lair.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Speaking of Batman villains, there are a few underneath here, but I will point out first Mr. Gentleman Ghost.
Gentleman Ghost, yep.
Yep, they're directly next to Batman and Robin there.
Yes, Gentleman Ghost. Or as he was known in the early days, simply the Ghost. Yep, he
also
is
an adversary of the hero to his left, right? Wasn't he a Hawkman villain?
Yes, he absolutely was. Okay. Yep, he was created by Gardner Fox and Joe Kubert, who are pretty much the creative team of that Hawkman strip for the entirety of its Flash Comics run. And well, maybe if I can't back that up, but for most of the best known stories were by Fox and Kubert. I won't say all of them, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this character was created by that team. And the whole business of his being the ghost of an old English highwayman didn't come in until a little later on. Originally, there was a lot of I don't know, is he or isn't he? Like, is he really a figure of the supernatural? And much later on, DC's position was very solidly he was, but originally it was a question of, was he really a ghost, or was he just a clever crook who had a knack for special effects?
To back you up here, Murd, he is indeed a Kanigher and Kubert creation. So,
okay.
Yep, Robert Kanigher on the writing and Joe Kubert on the art for his first appearance in Flash Comics number 88.
I would have much sooner sworn to the Gardner Fox half of that partnership than to the Kubert half. But thanks for correcting me there.
Yeah, no worries. And yes, just because he's already been mentioned, to his direct right there, Hawkman, one of the many versions of Hawkman, but that is the one that's Golden Age.
Right. This is the Prince Khufu Carter Hall Hawkman, as we knew him in his days in Flash Comics.
Yep.
And with him, of course, is Shaira Sanders, his love interest, Hawkgirl.
Yep. And indeed, there she is. And to their left, before we forget him, clearly everyone recognizes whoever that is. Who is that?
Yeah, this is another column B for me, because this is their first enemy, the Hawks' first enemy, Hath-Set.
Hath-Set.
Okay.
First to be reincarnated along with them through the ages. And he was reincarnated in the Hawks' first appearance as the evil archaeologist, Dr. Anton Haster. And I did not recognize him in this costume.
Very good. And only the Shadow knows who that is directly next to Hawkman and Hawkwoman there.
Well, that's another B column thing here. I mean, it's very tempting to say the Shadow Thief, because that's exactly how Scott Koblish drew him.
Sure.
And if that were the case, he really shouldn't be on this cover, because Shadow Thief is a Silver Age character. But it's a member of the Golden Age Hawks Rogues Gallery, just like the Ghost or Hath-Set. But he's drawn to look more like Carl Sands, the Silver Age Shadow Thief, with the stretched, distended limbs and the little curly Q goatee coming off of his chin. He looks more like the Shadow Thief, but it's supposed to be Ian Carcull, who was a sorcerer, and he was created by Gardner Fox. I've confirmed that. He appeared in More Fun number 69 and 70, but he made only those two appearances in the Golden Age, but he became a more important figure later, when Roy Thomas started doing his Gold Age retconning. You could think of him as like the Golden Age version of the Shadow Thief. He ended up converting himself into a living shadow by the end of his first appearance.
Okay.
And he eventually became responsible for one continuity patch explaining why so many Golden Age Justice Society heroes remained young over the years. Stolen magic chronal energy.
But of course, what else would it be, really? Directly next to him, that is Mixie, right? That's is that Mixie Xpidalek there, or is that somebody else?
You're gonna have to scroll a little further, because on my screen, our three faces are blocking him from view.
Yep. No
Okay,
worries.
that is the Golden Age precursor to the well-known Mr. Mixie Spitlick. This is Mr. Muxist Polk. The main difference is that his name is spelled MXYZTPLK instead of MXYZPTLK. This is the fifth dimensional imp as Siegel and Schuster conceived of him. He was the court jester of the fifth dimensional realm of Zerf under Old King Berkskiz. But since Old King Berkskiz was basically simple-minded, Mixie ran the whole kingdom himself. And growing bored with that, he discovered our third-dimensional world and began bugging the Earth 2 Superman.
Okay.
Murd, no one enunciates bizarre names better.
You better believe it. Yep.
Appreciate it, friends. Yes. And this is a character that kind of embodies Siegel and Schuster's original vision for the Man of Steel, i.e. one with a sense of humor.
Absolutely. You know, I almost missed in between, of course, Alan Scott, Green Lantern, right there on the screen. So that's another A column, and of course, directly next to him, to the right, would be Captain Marvel and Mary Marvel. But I almost missed this unfrozen caveman lawyer over here that just was kind of hiding in between the Gentleman Ghost and them. So who is this mess? Who is this icy man?
Well, you know, don't you, Ian?
I don't actually. Not off the top of my
Okay.
head. No.
Okay, this is one of the Golden Age villains that's gotten the most play in latter days. He is an enemy of Alan Scott's, and he is the Icicle.
Oh, that is the icicle. You know what? I'm so much more familiar with his more modern iterations and his
Cameron
kin.
McKent.
Exactly. Yep.
This is his dad, the Golden Age villain, Dr. Joar McKent, which in the old days was spelled Makent. I think, I can't prove this, but I think Jeff Johns was bothered by the fact that looked so much like Ma Kent, like Superman's mother, that he added an H in between to destroy that. But anyway, yeah, that's the Icicle.
Okay, fair enough. We'll also point out directly underneath him, that is that indeed the Psycho Pirate there directly underneath him?
That is indeed a Psycho Pirate, but it's one of Scott Koblish's most visible boo-boos here. He's been called out a couple times for this on the internets already. Because he drew in there the Silver Age Psycho Pirate. This is the legacy villain, Roger Hayden Psycho Pirate, the one that appeared in Crisis. The original Psycho Pirate, who fought the Justice Society a couple of times in the Golden Age, was his real name was Charlie Halstead, and he just looked like a guy dressed like a newspaper print shop employee. He had like an ink-stained apron and a visor and a big handlebar mustache. And he committed crimes based on emotions, which he initially did as a way of getting revenge on his newspaper publisher boss, who he thought was using the public's emotions against them to gain power for himself. So the original Psycho Pirate was kind of turning the tables on him, and then eventually embarked on a career of crime independent of that. So anyway, that's the Psycho Pirate we should be looking at. Instead, we have this guy.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Yep.
And hiding underneath Batman and Robin there, that is indeed Hugo Strange, correct?
It is indeed.
Yes, it is, yep.
Who is one of the Batman's very first recurring villains. He's not the first villain Batman ever fought. I think Dr. Death holds that honor, but Hugo Strange was a close second, I believe.
Okay. And I'm going to guess directly on top of him, is that the Golden Age version of Clayface, or is that someone else?
You know, that's a good guess, Ian, but that is someone else.
Okay.
If it were Clayface, he probably wouldn't have the beard thing going on, and I think he'd have a hat. This actually, and this is another one, this is a definite column B thing. This is a character of whom I'd heard before, but didn't recognize him from this interpretation. His name is Dr. Weird. That's Weerd, Dr. Weird.
Okay.
His real name is James Stanton, because if your name is Stanton, of course you want to go by Weird.
Sure, of course.
And he's Marvel's Mr. Hyde. It's almost exactly the same background. He's a noted psychologist who sometimes takes a chemical potion and turns into this superhumanly physiqued, physically distorted crime boss guy. And he was the original recurring nemesis of the Star-Spangled Kid and Stripesy, which means he was created by Jerry Siegel, actually, since he created Star-Spangled Kid and Stripesy.
Okay.
Yep, and in the comics, he did not have that scrubby little beard, at least not in his first couple of appearances. So that kind of threw me off.
All right. So we'll start going right again, and directly. I don't want to go too far down, but I guess we might as well, since she's right there, directly next to wrong Psycho Pirate. Clearly recognizable woman in coat.
Yeah, this definite B here, because I know of this character, but she's so far away from her usual partner in crime that I would never have guessed she was who she was. Apparently, she's supposed to be Rose Psychic, who is the partner in Gal Friday of Dr. Occult. Very early DC magic user. And she was his frequent partner. Some version of continuity have it that they were adoptive or biological siblings. And a couple of odd takes even have it that they are the different sides of the same person, like the animus and anima of one person. But anyway, she was known as Rose Psychic, and she helped Dr. Occult on his magical cases and adventures.
Different, almost similar to Rose and Thorn in that aspect, if they are the other aspects of the same person in that same general idea.
Except that they get along much better than Rose and Thorn ever did.
Of course. Yep. Now, that's not Doctor Strange, clearly.
It's also not Misto Magician Detective, but it's a dead ringer for him.
Or a dead ringer for Mandrake the Magician.
Yeah.
Also a good point. And And a lot of these magic-wielding crime fighters owe a definite debt to that character. So thank you for pointing that out, Chris.
Yep.
So let me just find where in my notes I have inside Alan Scott's crotch. It's here somewhere.
Meanwhile, in Meg Griffin's bra.
Tor the Magic Master.
Ah.
Yes. He first appeared in Crack Comics, a Quality Comics publication, between February of 41 and November of 42. Not a major character by any stretch.
No.
He was, his alter ego was reporter Jim Slade, and he moonlighted as a magician who fought crime, and he was sometimes known to speak his spells backwards to make them work.
Oh.
Ah.
Yes, but before you, press the rip-off switch there, you should know that he was created by Fred Gardenier, who also created Zatara, Master Magician, who was better known for. So basically, Gardenier ripped off himself. He went over to a different company and created the same character a second time, but gene-spliced him with Superman a little bit and gave him an alter ego who was a mild-mannered reporter.
Okay. Fair enough. And now they're all under the same company anyway, so it don't matter.
Righto.
Yep. All right. Loved the design of Jay Garrick helmet wearing guy directly next to him, but I have no idea who that is.
All right. Now, this is a guy I'd never heard of him before I started researching this, but because I had already been researching this when we talked about the James Gunn Superman movie, I was able to identify this character on that mural of DC history that appeared in the film.
Yes.
This is a character that was put in there to represent the World War I era, so that Jay Garrick doughboy helmet he's wearing. I mean, in Jay Garrick, it kind of doubles not only as a World War I helmet, but as like the Pegasus, the helmet of the god Mercury. But in this guy's case, it's just a doughboy helmet because he represents the fighting spirit of World War I. He is a character known as, get ready to laugh, the Ghost of Flanders.
Stupid, sexy Ghost of Flanders.
Flanders Fields.
Gotta get out there and fight those bad guy Nazi-rinos. No, yes. As Chris points out, it's a reference not to Homer Simpson's neighbor, but to Flanders Fields.
Yes, of course.
In Flanders, which is the Dutch-speaking region of Belgium, where a lot of World War I action took place and a lot of blood was shed.
Oh, yes.
There's a famous poem that
That's right.
my mother tells me that even as of her childhood was still being forcibly taught to children as a part of learning World War I history. In Flanders field, the poppies grow, and each one is supposed to represent a drop of blood shed by a soldier in World War I. So this guy, whose real name is Rip Graves, that's R-I-P Graves, because he's supposed to be dead, you see.
Ah.
He's the Ghost of Flanders, and he represents the fighting spirit and the spirit of sacrifice evinced by the veterans of that conflict. He was presumed KIA. He was a missing in action at the end of World War I, and then just kind of hung around Europe doing nothing in particular until World War II broke out. He operated from a secret headquarters in a cemetery in Flanders, and he traveled all around Europe fighting the Nazi menace, and he left a red poppy at the site of every one of his victories.
Okay.
Yep, he had 8 appearances in Hit Comics, 1941 and 42, from Quality Comics.
Very cool. I can definitely name the 2 people directly next to him. Now, am I right that this is Catwoman?
Yeah.
Sure is.
Okay. I'll give you that one, Ian. That's Catwoman for sure.
Good. And then directly on top of her, that is the one and only. He's not on the roof this time, but he's the Fiddler.
Yep, but he's fit as a fiddle and ready for love.
Oh, God.
Now, on top of him, I think I know who it is, but I'm not entirely certain. So I'm going to avoid saying a name and being wrong. So by all means.
All right. Well, I'll say it for you, and it's probably who you're thinking of. It's the Wizard.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Yep. The Fiddler and the Wizard, 2 fairly well-known in recent days Golden Age villains. With very similar origins, they both learned magic tricks from Indian people whom they murdered right afterwards.
Yeah, as you do, you know.
Yeah. If you're a Golden Age supervillain, certainly.
Yes, definitely.
So, and the Wizard, he was an opponent of the Justice Society as a whole. He first appeared in All-Star, and he was a Gardner Fox creation. And I believe the Fiddler was originally a Flash villain.
Okay. So directly next to Mary Marvel and Catwoman, in between the two of them, this Michael Stipe looking fellow here.
That's late era.
Every
Late era.
hero
Michael Stipe.
hurts sometime.
Merd.
Love it.
It's not complete unless you sing at some point. Magnificent.
Oh yeah, of course. So who's that solemn fellow?
This fellow is Henry King Sr., who is another. He was introduced in the pages of All Star Comics. He was a foe of the Justice Society. He was a member of the Injustice Society of the World. He's known as the Brainwave. But as latter comic history tells us, he eventually reformed. He actually married. You remember Mary, Girl of 1,000 Gimmicks, a while ago?
Yep.
He married her, and they had a kid together.
Okay.
Who became known as Brainwave Jr., who was a member of
there you go. Brainwave Jr. Got it. Okay. All right. Excellent. Well, I love it when DC history comes together like that. That's yes. Great.
And we owe Roy Thomas such a great and multifarious debt for having brought so many of those bits together.
Yes, indeed.
And we also owe a pretty sizable debt to Jeff Johns for doing a lot of other chores in that regard.
All right, so we are close to the end of the top area here, and back up here, of course, the one and only Shining Knight.
Yep.
Yes, the original Shining Knight, Sir Justin of Camelot, astride his horse Winged Victory, which of course counts as two, because the horse, as much as the monkey, always counts.
But of course, yep, and that is the end of our top right of the cover. Directly under him, he looks like he's wearing Mr. Miracle's clothes, but it sure as hell ain't Mr. Miracle. So, who
that it is not. No. Well, this guy, do I have him at the bottom of tier 2, top of tier 1? Well, anyway, his name is Wotan. He is a sorcerer. He named himself after, he gave himself one of Odin, the Norse god Odin's old names. And he was an opponent of Dr. Fate in the Golden Age.
This wrestler-looking fellow in between the Marvels here. Who do we got?
Oh, yes. And let's not forget Captain Marvel Jr. there. In
yes. Of course.
Freddie Freeman.
Yep.
Throw him in there. So right there in between the three principal members of the Marvel family is, that's Ibak. And he, like Sabak, he's one of those guys who has a magic acronym for a name that he can't say. He sold his soul to Prince Lucifer in exchange for the powers of some of the greatest evil beings in human history, which he could then use to beat Captain Marvel. And those four were Ivan the Terrible, Cesare Borgia, Attila the Hun, and the Roman Emperor Caligula. Ibak. So when would-be crime boss Stanley Stinky Printwhistle utters the word Ibak, he's transformed into this super-powered shirtless bohunk named Ibak. And he never succeeded throughout the Golden Age or beyond in beating Captain Marvel, so he never actually forfeited his soul to Lucifer. And eventually he got sick of trying and tried to go straight. So something of a happy ending for this.
And then he tried to
denizen of Earth S.
Then he tried to sell his soul to a Formula One racer, and then Marge was like, "Bart, stop harassing the devil." All right, and yes, Captain Marvel Jr. as stated directly next to him. However, I will not say the words Freddie Freeman. Wait, I already did. Curse your name, Freddie Freeman, for ruining baseball for me many times over. Anyway,
right. Believe you me, he spent enough time as a Brave that I, as a Phillies fan, every time he did something right, I would be like, freaking Captain Marvel Jr.
Oh, man. God.
There are a
Frickin'
few people in
Dodgers.
professional sports I dislike more than that man right now. So it's a shame that he has to share a name with a member of the Marvel family.
Yes, agreed entirely. All right. Directly underneath Captain Marvel Jr. there, who's Pencilhead?
Pencilhead, you say? Oh, yes, I see who you're talking about now. It's actually the Missile Nose Cone Head.
Okay, got it.
Yes, and his name is Mr. Atom, and he is a latter-day opponent of the Marvel family. He didn't show up until, like, the very early 50s, I believe. And he's basically an intelligent robot who is atomically powered, and he is a personification of the fear of, nuclear energy and the bomb and whatnot. That's why his head is shaped like a nuclear missile. And he was created by Dr. Charles Langley, and he immediately went bad and evil and tried to conquer the world, and Captain Marvel kept, throwing him away. Okay. Eventually he was banished to, he was given the Black Adam treatment, banished to the farthest star.
Directly underneath him, Another man in suit, this one of the green variety.
Yes, now this guy, I was sure he was just supposed to be, Golden Age Superman villain and one of my favorite DC characters, the Prankster.
Yes.
So, not a very good likeness of the Prankster, because, his suit isn't nearly loud enough, his mustache isn't cheesy enough, and he's not even smiling.
Yeah.
So I was relieved to discover that he apparently is not supposed to be the Prankster at all. We won't get to the Prankster until the cover of issue 2. Mm-hmm. Instead, he's a very obscure Golden Age Superman guy who appeared exactly once in Action Comics number 19. He's Mr. Z, alias Oscar Lanchester, and he encountered Superman in that issue when he gathered together a gang and set out to murder a dog.
Oh, God.
Totally a worthy activity for a Superman villain.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Apparently, a distant relative of his was wealthy and left all of her money to her dog, and this guy decided to go out and kill the dog to get the money.
Oh, my God. Come on, guys.
Like, I have no idea why he is on this cover, but here he is.
Go figure. All right. Should I go back left at this point for the sake of your notes? Or
you're in the driver's seat here, Ian. You just jump wherever you need to.
All right. Excellent. I'm going to roll back over far left then so we can get to the area here of folks that we may have missed directly next to there. So let's see. Okay. So directly under where we were before would be right around here.
We talked about Fishbowl Man, so we know he's accounted for.
Yep. And did we talk about not Phantom Stranger over here in the corner?
Looks like the Spirit, isn't it?
Yes, he's also not the Spirit. That is true.
Oh.
Yep.
Yes, there is a little bit of... This guy could be one of two characters, both of them quality comics characters.
Yeah.
And both of them pretty close to the Spirit in appearance. One of them was created specifically to be a stand-in for the Spirit, and that is the man called Midnight.
Okay.
Who appeared in some quality comics when they temporarily didn't have the right to publish the adventures of the actual Spirit. Mm-hmm. And his real name was Dave Clark, and I think he was a radio announcer who moonlit as a crime fighter in a blue suit and a mask. Mm-hmm. You'll notice that his initials, Dave Clark, are the same as Denny Colt, who is the Spirit's alter ego.
Mm.
But it could just as easily be a different quality comics character who first appeared in Police Comics number 1, same as Plastic Man. He was crusading DA Bill Perkins. He wore a suit and hat and mask, much like that, and he called himself the Mouthpiece.
Okay.
So a case could be made for that guy being either one of them. His face is half covered by a sword, so maybe that's intentional ambiguity on Koblish's part. I don't know.
It could be. Versions of Midnight have appeared multiple times over the years, and I'm gonna go that way for my cover canon.
Sure.
Especially since apparently I didn't know this because I think I stopped watching Supergirl at the time, but a female version of the character appeared in season 5 of Supergirl.
Yeah, I had stopped watching well before that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So go figures. Yep. He's also in the Elseworlds miniseries JLA Destiny, which I remember quite well. I don't remember him being in it, but I remember JLA Destiny as that was one of my favorite Elseworlds back in the day. So, yep. All right. Directly next to him, man with megaphone.
Okay. You remember that spherical spaceship up in the upper left that could have been one or two things?
Yep.
Well, one of the two things it could have been is that guy's conveyance.
Okay.
That guy is Dan Drake, star of the strip... Don Drake. I just read my own vowels there. Don Drake on Planet Sorrow, who, again, not Flash Gordon.
No, of course not.
Definitely not Flash Gordon, no. So, yeah, that guy, he was the star of his own strip, which ran for 7 issues in New Fun, More Fun, and... beginning in, I think I might even have written down what, yeah. No, I didn't. But anyway, he's a very early DC Comics character in the first handful of issues of New Fun. And that thing he's holding is his atomic energy gun. Mm-hmm. He had a girlfriend named Betty, since all these adventurers have to have girlfriends who are the daughters of scientists or police chiefs or something. And actually, fun fact, the planet Sorrow... might just be the first alien planet ever to appear in a DC comic.
Ah. Okay. Interesting. Huh. See, these are the nuggets that we would not receive without going through this bit by bit here. So,
Murd, outstanding scholarship as always.
Well, thank you, Chris. A lot of work and a lot of love went into this one, and I feel magnified by it.
I feel magnified by the fact that I very much know that directly underneath him is the one and only Ma Hunkel. And,
Indeed.
Yep. Gotta love Ma Hunkel in every way, shape, or form. So.
Yep. She's the Golden Age Red Tornado.
Yep.
And perched on her shoulders are her little sidekicks, the Cyclone Kids. It's a little hard to tell which is which. One of them is a boy and one of them is a girl. I'm guessing the one on the left is the girl.
Okay.
But if it is so, that is her biological daughter, little Amelia Hunkel. And on her other shoulder is not her child. It's the neighbor boy, younger brother of her son... younger brother of her next-door neighbor, Scribbly Giblet, who also appears in this cover elsewhere. And his name is Mortimer Dinky Giblet. So there's... And both of these two Cyclone Kids, I think they ended up getting married, and they were members of Old Justice.
Yes, you're right, actually. Yes. Yep. I now that you mention it, I remember that quite well from the Young Justice era. Yep. There you go.
Yep, Amelia and Mortimer, Sisty and Dinky, as they were known back then.
Okay. So I'll get to Mustache in a minute, but you can't tell me this isn't the Three Musketeers here. Like come on, let's.
Ian, I won't even attempt to tell you that because that is exactly, literally, who they are.
Gotta love it.
Not ripoffs or anything, because in the early days, the very early days, or the 30s here, some of DC's first comics were just like comic adaptations of classic heroic literature. And that's a key example. That is definitely Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. And, here we go. They ran for 2 years in More Fun, starting with number 13 in September of 1936, drawn by cartoonist Sven Elvin and adapted by Major Malcolm Wheeler Nicholson.
The founding father of DC Comics.
Yep.
Well, in one respect.
In one respect, yeah.
He's the one who was kind of the impetus
for
the publishing initiative, and he did bring a lot of its early content, but he was also something of a charlatan, and he was unreliable as well. He didn't stick around for the long haul, but at least
he got bought out and pushed aside, didn't he?
He certainly did, yes.
Yeah.
And accounts are that he kind of deserved it. But he was a somewhat important figure. I wouldn't go so far to say he was the father, but he was one of the progenitors of the DC Comics that we came to know.
So the Three Musketeers considered part of the DC universe in this sense?
I guess so. I guess in the 18th century French history of Earth 2, there might have been the Three Musketeers.
And you notice who's not there? D'Artagnan, because to almost quote, because I'm sure I got it slightly wrong, one of my favorite Simpsons quotes of Marge raging about it. No, D'Artagnan was not a musketeer. He had a letter of the guard, which he lost.
Oh, Marge. And if Raph were here, he'd mention that time Leonardo thought he was D'Artagnan.
Yes, that too. Yeah. All right, now we'll get to Mustache directly on top of the Three Musketeers here.
Okay, hi, Mustache. We've gotten to you. All right, I don't have an awful lot about him or the albino lady behind him, but here we go. Actually, I didn't even devote a whole line to either. I just put the two of them on a single line. The Mustache is named Colonel Custard. That's Cunnel, Colonel with a southern accent. And the lady on top of him is Cotton Top Katie. They're both humor characters. Katie was created by Harry Lampert and appeared in All-American. The Colonel made relatively few appearances in More Fun by cartoonist Stan Kay. He is a crusty old southern gentleman. She was a know-it-all high school student.
Okay.
And damned if I'd heard of either one of them before I looked at this cover.
Well, there you go. Did we touch on directly next to her? I'm trying to remember whether or not we did.
We have not talked about him yet.
Okay, excellent.
But he's a significant figure. You may know him as the Grim Ghost, but in the Golden Age, he was known as the Gay Ghost.
Ooh.
Because gay meant something a little different back then.
Indeed.
Yeah. So his alter ego was the Keith Everett, Earl of Strathmere. He's the ghost of like a 17th century Irish nobleman
who was very happy.
Yes, all the
Okay.
Despite being dead, sure. He honestly was not particularly happy being dead. But then he got a second chance at life when the distant descendant and look-alike and also namesake of his lost love, Deborah Wallace. A 20th century woman named Deborah Wallace came to his castle that he'd been haunting for a couple of centuries, bringing like a foppish would-be lover named Charles Collins along with her. They ran afoul of Nazi agents, Charles Collins died, and the ghost of Keith Everett, Earl of Strathmere, was able to possess his body and live again and fight evil and Nazis again, as under the name of... Well, he was never actually called the Gay Ghost in the stories. It was just the title of the strip.
Got it.
And he continued to be called the Gay Ghost throughout his appearances in the 40s. He was created by Gardner Fox and Howard Purcell, but he was rebranded as the Grim Ghost, starting with reprints of his Golden Age adventures in the 70s. And that campaign to de-queer him, I guess, continued into the 80s when Roy Thomas got a hold of him and did like an issue of Secret Origins for him. But I think there's been a push in recent years to just let him be the Gay Ghost.
Understood.
I mean, the character himself was obviously heterosexual because he had such a thing for Deborah Wallace, love interest. But just to his
words evolve, people. Words evolve.
Yes, and we need not fear them.
Yep, indeed. All right, and then directly on top of him, that woman there with the hat.
We're looking at June Justice G Woman. And that's Justis, incidentally,
Okay.
who appeared once in New Adventure number 22, December 1937. Once. A couple of the characters who are on this cover, I mean, we haven't spoken to Scott Koblish directly about any of this, of course, so we don't really know the ins and outs, but I think there are a couple of characters who weren't originally supposed to be on this cover and were only here because he needed, for one reason or another, to redraw other characters that had originally... So June Justice might be one of those that was not originally supposed to be on here, but has taken the place of another character who needed to bow out of the cover for possibly legal reasons.
Makes sense. All right. Moving to the right, that is not the Penguin, because the Penguin's never had such a thin mustache, but I'd love to know who that is.
I believe, and this has to go in the B column here, because this is a character that I remember well, but did not recognize from the way he's drawn here. I think it's supposed to be Golden Age Hawkman villain, the Monocle.
Okay.
Real name Jonathan Cheval, who fought the Hawks a couple of times in the 40s, and eventually joined the Ultra-Humanites version of the Secret Society of Supervillains in the pages of Justice League of America in the very early 80s. Because I think in the comics he was a little taller and leaner, and his mustache was not nearly that cheesy.
Okay. and then next to him, guess what? It's a guy in a hat.
It's a guy in a hat. All right, and I need to find this guy in a hat in here. Okay, so there's the Monocle. Tall hat and no, that's Super Sleuth McFooey. We've done him. Left of Doctor 13. Wait, really? That's who that's supposed to be? Okay. Yep. Okay. Got him. Okay. He is one of a whole subgenre of aviator characters. This one's kind of a hard luck aviator. He's not a heroic aviator. He's more of a barely survived the Depression aviator. His name is Wing Walker. And he appeared in the first 3 issues of New Comics, late 1935, early 1936. And he was just a down-on-his-luck pilot who got mixed up with the mob. They tricked him into smuggling, and he had to get out, clear his name or something. But anyway, 3 appearances for that guy. Certainly never heard of him.
Guess what? Me neither.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, at least directly next to him is not Tarzan again.
Nope, he for sure is not Tarzan. He's the Jungle King. The Jungle King. All right.
Of course.
Whose real name is Lee Granger. He's American, for one thing. He was not raised by apes or any other kind of jungle wildlife. He was Dr. Lee Granger, American scientist, adventurer, and anti-slavery advocate, who spent time in Africa crusading for causes such as breaking up slaving rings. He's not as much the Tarzan knockoff as he seems to be. He's actually a Fawcett Comics character. He was co-created by Bill Parker, the same guy who co-created Captain Marvel. He made 11 appearances circa 1940, and his sidekick was Eric the Talking Lion, who sounds as if as if John Cleese came up with him.
Yeah. Talkie Tani, he is not.
No, he's not. He's just a lion.
All right. And then directly underneath him, are these blue folks related here, or are they just blue suit wearers?
They're just fellow fans of blue suits.
Okay. Got it. Well, you can touch on each one individually then.
Well, I will as soon as I get them sussed out here. Okay. The guy who was wearing his hat in a jaunty fashion. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is actually a somewhat well-known Golden Age adventurer character. This is Speed Saunders.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Who first appeared in Detective Comics #1, which I know I've read, but I wasn't going to recognize him as, man in suit and hat number 15. But yeah, he is Cyril Speed Saunders, created by cartoonist Greg Flessel. He ran in the first 58 issues of Detective, and eventually the modern age Hawk Girl, Kendra Saunders, was brought in and was established as his granddaughter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Very important character in the DC universe for that very reason. Absolutely. Yep. And the history of being in Detective Comics #1 kind of immediately makes you an important character.
Well, yeah, to a point. I mean, Cosmo Phantom of Disguise also first appeared in Detective #1, and
true,
less well remembered.
Definitely. And then Mr. I'm wearing a hat underneath my hat.
Okay, his costume's not the greatest. It doesn't bring across his theme particularly well, but he is a fairly important figure in superhero history, in that he's sometimes credited for being the first masked hero to appear in a comic book.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yes, this guy, he wasn't originally a DC character. He also wasn't originally a quality character, but he ended up there. He is the Clock. You may have heard of the Clock at some point. He's very early, very pulpy. He's kind of in the vein of the Shadow, in that he had a little group of agents that would help him in fighting crime. His real name was Brian O'Brien. He was created by George Brenner. His first appearance was in 1936 in a couple of random titles from lesser Golden Age publisher Centaur comic publications. Eventually, Quality got him, and thereby DC got him. They haven't done anything with him recently, but as Shane might or might not remember if he were present, he was actually mentioned in one of those Shades Journal text pieces at the back of Starman. James Robinson mentioned him, but his only role in that Shades Journal entry was to be tortured and or killed.
Got it. Okay.
But still, as I said, he's a somewhat important figure in the early history or prehistory of comic book superheroes.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, if I'm intrude for a minute, I have to leave soon, but I can't leave. And I have a request.
Yes.
Ian, if you could just go down a couple to the being with the crown and the carbuncle on his nose. I'm dying to know who that is.
All right, Chris, we'll skip down to him for
I appreciate it.
First, I need to find I know his name is Sponge Nose Kelly.
Okay.
Shane would be amused by that too, I'm sure. Were he with us?
Oh my God!
It's a deeply alarming image. Like, what happened to that man's
really
nose?
Is was he stung by 800 bees?
Plus, he's got an eye patch. He's in bad shape.
I'm going to tell you that I can't give you an origin story for his nose, but I can at least give you a little background. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Sponge Nose Kelly. And the two guys beneath him, the two sailor-looking fellas, the striped shirt and the stars on the lapels, they are all from the same strip. The captain-looking guy is the lead character of that strip. His name was Skipper Hicks. And the guy next to him is his first mate, Soup Ladle Jones. And they're the captain and first mate of the good ship Mary Ann. And an old shipmate of theirs is Sponge Nose Kelly there. He used to sail with them, but he settled down with his wife and daughter on an island that they've named Kelly Island. And he proclaimed himself king of that island, which is why he has a crown on his head. So these are some more humorous South Seas adventures type.
It's good to know that, there's someone out there willing to love that man.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, people have got to love somebody,
Yeah.
Yep, he actually produced a daughter, and I haven't read the story. These three characters between them appeared in exactly 3 DC comics. New Fun #6, More Fun #7 and 8. And then the whole strip jumped ship to Centaur Publications and changed its name to Skipper Ham Shanks.
Well, at one point, Sponge Nose also had a son. His name was SpongeBob. He became very famous, very popular.
All right, this is the perfect time for me to leave because you finally win Borscht Belt, which I appreciate. Gentlemen, I'm sorry. I have a school night. I have to go to bed soon. I apologize.
No, by all means, Chris, and thank you very much for joining us for this one, man.
Murd, this is masterful stuff. I'm looking forward to listening to the rest of it. Well done, my friend.
Actually, before you go, Chris, could I introduce you to one more character?
Please.
Find amusing. If we could scroll downwards just a bit.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this is a bottom row. Yep, and a little bit to the right. Right. Other way. Yep, there we go. See the lad in the sailor suit there?
The lad in the sailor suit.
Yeah, see the black right in front of Superman?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
Tier 4. All right, I wanted to tell you about this one, Chris, because he's a period figure in a period of American history that I think you'll agree is very much underrepresented in comics and just popular fiction in general. His name is Midshipman Dewey. That was the title of the strip. Jack Dewey was his name. And he served aboard the USS Hornet during one of America's first foreign conflicts, the First Barbary War.
The Barbary Pirate Wars. Wow. Deep dive by DC. Holy mackerel.
Yep. Yeah, you don't see a lot of Barbary strips.
No.
Yep, and he appeared in New Fun number 2 through More Fun number 19 by a cartoonist named Adolphe Barrault. And I kind of think this is one of the concepts that Major Wheeler Nicholson had in his portfolio before he ever approached the publishers. Like he had stockpiled material for maybe a decade or so. I think Midshipman Dewey is probably one of the earlier concepts he had on board. So
anybody who's dying out of curiosity right now, so in case they don't know, they're referring to the Barbary coast of North Africa, where in the early 1800s, there were not these countries you know today, but various city-states that were essentially, they made their living through piracy. And like Tripoli was one of them, for example. And they would routinely take hostages from ships in the Mediterranean, and the European powers would pay them off so as not to take their ships. And Thomas Jefferson did not want to pay, so he sent our very small navy out there to project American power and stop the pirates. There's a whole series of these wars to defeat these pirate cities, so to speak. Now, I don't think of them like Johnny Depp or anything like that. They were legitimate city-states who made revenue from piracy. So, Murr, thanks for that opportunity.
I wanted a Chris history lesson. I really did.
Oh yeah.
That was an overview of a more complex subject. But
nice,
gentlemen, I bid you a fond farewell, and I look forward to joining you on the next installment of this very much.
Excellent. Sounds good.
Right.
Have a good rest of your night.
You too. Good night, gentlemen. Take care. Ciao.
Good night, my friend.
All right. Well, those of you who are familiar with our longer episodes know that we very often wind up taking a very long time to get through whatever topic we are discussing, and this is very much one of those times. So the departure of Chris Eberly is also going to be our departure here in the first part of this 2-part epic of the cover to the New History of the DC Universe issue 1. So next episode we'll cover the conclusion, which is just going to be Murd and myself going through the rest of the characters in that list. You'll also get Murd's list at the end of his column A, column B, and column C stuff for those of you who have been keeping score. But figure it's going to be a lot more digestible to split this in 2. It just makes a lot more sense. And I hope you guys enjoy that. I may not even wait the full week to put out the next episode. It just all depends on my schedule as well. But I'll keep you posted on that one way or the other. But either way, this has definitely been an amazing session, and I'm sure you guys are going to love what's to come in that second part as well. So with that, some credits. Email address for Comic Timing is comictiming@gmail.com. Facebook.com/Comic Timing is where you can find out more about our episodes, and you can also comment on the Facebook group there, the Comic Timing fan group. We want to know what you thought about this episode and this format, and whether or not you'd like to see us continue it in the future for future issues of this very series that we're going to be discussing here. As Murd puts a lot of effort into this, and we want to make sure that you guys are enjoying it as much as we are producing it. You can find video versions of this and other episodes at youtube.com/@Comic Timing Podcast. We're on Bluesky as Comic Timing. We're on Instagram as Comic Timing Podcast. And we're on Threads as Comic Timing Podcast as well. Thanks once again to Mr. Chris Eberly for joining us. And, of course, once again, to the Murd himself, Adam Murdo. And as always, there's always time for comics. We'll see you in part 2.